Hello guys, this is Writing for Mass Media, and today I will be looking at the different types of mass media and their various functions. Hello, you're welcome to class today. Today I will be looking at the different types of mass media and their functions, and also how they perform their functions in the process of distributing information to the mass audience. Don't forget that when we talk about the mass media, we're making reference to different channels of communication to an heterogeneous public. When we say heterogeneous public, we mean scattered audience. So they are located in different places, but listening to the same message at the same time. That is what we refer to as the mass media. So today we'll look at the different types of mass media that we have that exist at the moment, because we know that there could be opportunity knowing how the technology industry is now. There could be opportunity or instances where that could increase, or the different channels of disseminating information at the same time to scattered audience could increase in future. Okay, so we have different types. We have the broadcast media, and we also have the print media, and we also have the new age media, which we'll look at in subsequent slides. When we're talking about the broadcast media, we're making reference here to the radio and the television medium. All right, so the different types of mass media we have, according to my slide here, is the print media, the electronic media, and also the new age media. Under the print media, we have newspaper, magazines, we have booklets, we have newsletter, we have direct mailing, we have the billboard, and several others. For the electronic, we have television and the radio channel. And for the new age, we have mobile phones, we have computer, then we also have the internet. Do not forget that when we make reference to the internet, we're talking about the online platform. And on the online platform, we have the social media, we have blog, we have blogs, we have websites, and several others. And we have more still evolving. A lot of them are still evolving because of the ICT or new age developments that we have at the moment. So these are the different types we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at the features, and we'll be looking at their mode of operation as well. Now let's begin with the print media. Now, it deals with mass communication, message distribution, and also communication through the use of printed materials or printed documents. So we have examples such as flyers. Flyers are printed, they are distributed, but they're used as a means of communication or as a means of mass communication or distribution of information, either for the purpose of warning, for the purpose of awareness about something, or for the purpose of giving current information about a particular event happening at a particular time. Now, let's go to the newspaper first. Now, the newspaper enjoyed the position of the most preferred medium to reach a wider audience until the electronic communication emerged on the media scene. Okay, so the newspaper is a channel of distributing current information to the public, which was popular before. But when the internet came into being, or the electronic communication means came into being, now we have e-copies of newspapers that can be distributed online. But it is definitely some form of print media used for the dissemination of information to a large audience. We also have magazines. We can have magazines. Magazines usually focus on different areas. It could be on lifestyle, it could be on travel, it could be on business, it could be on anything that has to do with products, it could be on news as well. For example, in Nigeria, we have the Tell newspaper, and because it's the Tell magazine, that's a news magazine. So magazines focus on different aspects because it focuses on popular culture. So it can focus on fashion, it can focus on beauty, it can focus on travel, it can focus on the ecosystem, it can focus on plants, it can focus on agriculture, name it. That is the focus of magazines. It can also focus on any aspect of entertainment. It can be pop music, it can be music in general, it can be movies, it can be film. So magazine is expected to focus on any particular area, but it usually targets a specific audience based on the area it focuses on. So we have examples here. We have like the Times magazine, we have Reader's Digest is also a magazine. And in terms of publication, magazines could be published depending on what it focuses on. So if it's a news magazine, it could be weekly, it could be bi-monthly, it could be quarterly. It depends on the aspect or the specific aspect or audience that the magazine type is focused on. Now we have booklets and brochures. Okay, booklets and brochures are they're part of promotional material. They are literature materials that focus on a particular purpose or the purpose of promoting a product or promoting the activities of an organization. So there are two types of booklets and two types of brochure. But remember, booklets and brochure can focus, or the purpose of these printed communication materials, the purpose is to promote products or for the purpose of promoting the activities of a particular organization. So the different types of brochure that we have the pre-buying promotion. Remember I said it's a promotional material to promote a product or to promote the activities of a particular organization. So when we say the pre-buying promotional material, that is what we're talking about here. And some of the pre-buying promotional materials could be promotional literatures, which are usually distributed to people freely. So sometimes pre-buying promotional materials, you can get them when you walk into the supermarket. Usually they are arranged at the till when you're about to make your payment and you're about to leave the supermarket. And in them they have discount cards. So for example, a free booklet about cosmetics will introduce information about the products, which are the cosmetics that you have for sale. I know Oriflame is an example of one. The latest trends, the content, the benefit of using those products. Now, the purpose of that, it is a pre-promotional material, printed pre-promotional material. The purpose of that is to encourage you or motivate you to buy some of those products, and is to present to you some of the products that are available. Sometimes some of these pre-buying promotional materials also have prices, so they just present the products to you and they like, that is a form of encouraging you to buy the products. Okay, so they present it and sometimes they have discount coupon attached to it as well. Sometimes if you look at these international wedding magazines, okay, they present different wedding gowns. They give you very brief stories or brief writing or summary about it, and also you have coupons in them. So as they are presenting the products to you, they're also trying to encourage you to buy by including a discount coupon in it. So even after purchasing the magazine, you're not just purchasing the magazine for nothing, because we always have coupon in them where they give you discounts. Now, in this new internet age, sometimes when you visit some sites or some websites, or some e-commerce websites where they sell products, you see that they tell you that at first purchase, you have a coupon, and then they give you a coupon code that you enter that will give you some form of maybe 10% off or 5% off whatever you're going to buy at that moment. So that's an online example of a pre-buying promotional material. It's just that that one is in e-copy because it now operates online. All right, so the second type is the post-buying promotion. This is after purchase. We've previously talked about the pre-buying. This is after purchase, which is the post-buying promotion. So these booklets and brochure are usually given with a product for better customer experience and easy usage. So you must have observed when you buy some items that there's a small booklet in it. And that small booklet is either to tell you about how you should use the product, how you should assemble the product before usage. So how you should clean the product. Some of the things, warnings about the product in order to ensure that the product is durable or the product lasts for a very long time. Caution on how to use the product, how to store the product as well, in order to ensure that you are using it appropriately and then you're using it for the period of time that you're supposed to use it for. So there are usage directions, cleaning and storage instructions, but it always contains information about instruction on how to use it, how to maintain it, how to clean it, depending on the kind of product that you have purchased, or depending on the kind of product we might be making reference to in this context. So those are post-buying promotional materials. That means information that is required based on the product for you to enjoy the product, or for you to use the product, or for you to know how to use the product. That's why we made reference to the word customer experience and easy usage. All right, so remember the pre and the post and the pre-buying promotional materials. Remember, they are the two types under booklets and brochure. All right, so let's go to our next point. Our next point is house magazine and periodicals or newsletters. Now, most organizations today have learned that it's very important for them to communicate with their stakeholders and for their success, at least for their stakeholders to be aware of what they're doing, the activities they're performing, their achievements, how they are giving back to the community. That's the CSR activities they're performing. So as a result of this, customers, stakeholders, investors, and solicitors and employees are updated about the activities of the organization from time to time. When I mean time to time, I mean it depends on how often these periodicals come out. Is it weekly? Is it monthly? So we call them house magazines, periodicals, or newsletters. The common word used here in Nigeria for those are newsletters. So newsletters are mainly produced not for the general public, but just for investors and stakeholders that have some form of connection or investment connection with an organization, and it is just for the benefits of, or for the purpose of providing information about what is going on in the organization, their progress, their success stories, their activities. It's important for investors, shareholders, solicitors, and employees to be aware of what is going on in the organization. And the use of newsletters and periodicals are what are the print materials or communication materials used for this, to disseminate such information. So many organizations today invest in various platforms such as house magazine, periodicals, or newsletters to keep their stakeholders informed about their activities in the organization. So we have direct mailing. Direct mailers are small pamphlets. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people stand beside the road and distributing pamphlets, small pamphlets, which are devices for direct advertising and marketing. Um, a lot of eateries, they do this in Nigeria. A lot of eateries do this in Nigeria. So sometimes they come with DJs, and the DJ will stand or we set up in front of the eatery and be playing music just to attract people's attention. You're driving and you're like, oh, I just heard that music. Where is it coming from? Then you now have sales representatives standing in strategic areas and handing over pamphlets. Now, these pamphlets are used for direct mailing. So they are used for the purpose of advertising or marketing a particular product or service provided. Usually they arrive at our doorsteps in some countries. So direct mails are relatively cheaper as compared to, the advertising or cost of having to produce an advert and then put it online or put it on the traditional media, which is radio and TV. So most of them include colorful advertisements and discounts and gift coupons. This is commonly done in the UK. Any door you see in the UK, in most cases, they have this mailing section on their door where you can put in some of those mailing materials that also have coupons in them. So as they're advertising their products or the service they offer, they also add gift coupon in order to encourage you to come to their store to patronize them. So let's go to electronic media. We're done with the print media. Let's go to electronic media. For electronic media, as previously noted, is a kind of media which requires the user to utilize an electronic connection to access information. And it is known as the broadcast media, which includes the television, radio, and even sometimes the new age media like the internet, computer, and telephone. Okay, so it needs some form of electronic connection for you to be able to disseminate information to a large audience at the same time. So the different types of electronic media, we have television. Television appeals both to auditory and visual sense, that is, it is audiovisual. So it does not just use audio for communication, but it makes use of audio and visual for disseminating information to the public. And that's one of the advantage of television, because even if you're not paying attention, you're not listening, or maybe you're doing some form of house chores as you are watching and you get distracted, of course the visuals can help complement and help you understand better. This category also includes CDs and DVDs. I know most of us don't use it again. A lot of people don't use it again. Now we use hard drives. Now we use flash drives, memory stick, to like save some of our contents. We also have the radio. The radio has a significant reach. A considerable number of Nigerians tune into radio every week. In fact, while going to work, the first thing you do in your car is switch on radio so you can listen to the morning news. You can listen to music to kind of cool you off as you're driving to work gently. So some people even use it for therapies. Yes, therapy. Yes, a lot of people use it for therapy, to put you in a very good mood and a stable mind as you're driving to work. So, but today, radio remains one of the favorite medium of electronic communication. That's because people see it as a personal medium. People see it as a personal media. There's some form of connection you have with radio or listening to radio. And it also gives a lot of opportunity for you to be a participant listener. If you tune into a lot of radio stations, they have a lot of calling programs, and that's why we say it is personal. I remember growing up as a media or a mass communication student, I was always connected with this presenter, honestly, and that was because he had a very good voice. He had a very good voice for radio. So just listening to him kind of drew me to the things he was saying and the message he was delivering. And I think because of that connection, I ended up going to visit and looking for that presenter. That is how much you see some people that they listen to a program consistently, and the presenters on the radio show, they're already aware of who that person is. Once they hear your voice on the phone, they're like, oh, this is this person. That is how connected people are to radio. You can never find such connection with the audiovisual medium, which is the television medium. So radio is very interactive, radio is very personal, radio is very participatory. Radio also has some form of very serious connection with you, honestly, as compared to when you expose yourself to television. Because radio gives more opportunity for some form of interpersonal communication. So you feel that you have a friend on the other side. You know what I mean? That does not exist with television at all. It does not. But there's always that connection. It's just like you're coming from Lagos. Maybe you stay in Ogun State. You're coming from Lagos. It's already late. You just tune into your radio or a particular station and you're enjoying music. That's the connection. That's the connection because it keeps you company while you're going home. Remember, radio is also seen as a music platform. Seen as a music platform. And there's a lot of things music will do for you or music can do for anyone. That's the truth if you really listen to radio. So I encourage you to be a radio listener today, honestly. It gives you some form of personal connection and recognition, and yes. All right, let's go to the new age media. Now, with the advent of the internet, we are now enjoying the benefit of high technology. To be honest, we don't even know how long this will go. I feel it will be forever. And I feel the new age media, the internet, will keep evolving and evolving for our benefits, to be honest, in most cases. So under it, we have the mobile phone, because the mobile phone gives you the opportunity to deliver messages. You can tell that now these days, through the mobile phone, you can even use the mobile phone to have Zoom meetings. You can use it to have Skype meetings. People are using it to have interviews, to conduct panel interviews. People are using it as a medium to disseminate information to the public. Once you have a computer, it's a computer I'm using now to record this lecture, which is going to reach thousands and millions of people across the world. So it's fast, to be honest. You are going to, because you have access to the internet, you can publish something on the internet and anyone and everyone can have access to it, as long as they also have access to some form of internet connection. So internet has opened up several new opportunities for mass communication. Remember, when we say mass communication, we're talking about communication or communicating with a large audience scattered in different places at the same time. Okay, so when we talk about the new age media, we're also making references to the use of emails, the use of websites or podcasts or e-forums, e-books, yes, blogging, even vlogs as well, to reach a large number of audience by disseminating information to them. So the new age media is the in thing, and it's a big force, and it is powerful and capable of communicating to a mass audience. So the new age media is the translation of all existing media into numerical data accessible through computer. I don't want to go into this technical aspect because this is about media communication, media education, media research, media interaction, as it were. So numerical representation, that means new media content converted on a computer. On a computer, they are done in form of digital codes. Now this is programming language. So I'll skip this slide because this is where programming comes into play. All right, so let's quickly go into the differences that exist between the broadcast media and the print media. The understanding or the knowledge of this will give you a better understanding or a deeper understanding of how the print media operates and how the broadcast media operates. So broadcast messages are faster than print media. In terms of distributing, once production has been done, distribution takes time. But broadcast, once you tune in on your radio, even before you buy the newspaper when you're driving to work in the morning, okay, you probably, if you have tuned into your radio, you probably will get the information before someone who is yet to buy the morning newspaper. So broadcast messages, they fade away once they are said, except you record them, which in most cases we do not even have the time to. But the print media has written information on it, so it's permanent. So if I do not understand the sentence or I'm not really clear about what I just read, I can go back and read it. But that does not happen with broadcast media. And that's why if you look at the form of writing for the print media, sometimes or in most cases they use longer sentences and complex sentences as compared to scripts for the broadcast media or broadcast news. Now, not everyone can make use of print because of the complexity. So, this is based on the educational level or educational status of a particular audience. But all class of people can easily relate with broadcast, and that's because the language of broadcast is conversational. The language of broadcast is different from print media. Print is more complex. Print, they make use of some complex words. Print media will sometimes send you to the dictionary. Broadcast is not allowed to do that because of how it has been built or created to structure information to be cast on the structure information for the mass public. All right, so broadcast information must be clear because messages disseminated cannot be stored instantly, just like we said previously. Therefore, read out your script to know how it sounds when others listen to it. When I mean read out your script, practically, actually read out your script. Sometimes, as a student, you can use a tape recorder. You understand, to check what your script sounds like in your own ears and see, and then put yourself in the place of the audience and see if you will be able to understand what you have just read. So differences in story structure. The end of your report should be summary statements to make the readers know that it is continuous. And there are some news stories that are follow-up stories. They don't just end. So from the last paragraph of your news story, your audience should be able to tell that, oh, this is not the end of this story. So you can, for instance, let me give you an example. For instance, a story could end saying the Nigerian police has started investigation to identify those responsible for the crime. So that means investigation is ongoing. It means the story has not ended. So once your target audience, or once your audience read that last paragraph, they know that there will be a follow-up to that story. All right, so use contraction. Now this depends. Sometimes when you use contractions, your audience might not understand what you have just said. So it depends on how it sounds. If it sounds like something else, then you should not be using it in your broadcast scripts. But if it sounds exactly like what you mean in your script or in that script, in that sentence, then you should use it. So use short declarative sentences. This does not necessarily mean all sentences have to be simple sentences. In fact, as a media person, you need to learn the different types of sentences, how to use them in a way that it does not hinder the understanding of the information you're trying to disseminate to your audience. So, avoid complex sentences in broadcast media. Make sure your sentence and verb are close. That is to ensure that you do not attribute the action to something else in the sentence, and to ensure that you're attributing the action to the subjects in the sentence. You must try not to hint them with too much information at a time. That means putting a lot of information in one sentence at a time is not good. You will get your audience confused for the broadcast media. Okay, so broadcast writing is done using conversational words and sentences. Sometimes something we call everyday words, something that involves everyday interaction. However, we don't use slangs. Take note of that. It takes an informal type of communication, while the print media is more complicated in the use of sentences. So sentences are usually short in broadcast, while in print, it's usually very, very long. Active voice is a choice for broadcast. Make sure your object, is coming first. Don't put your object at the end of the sentence. Print media writing uses the inverted pyramid style. This is the style we use for the print media because so many people don't have the time to sit down and read lengthy stories and long direct quotations. No. So we present the most important facts first, then we go down like that, the pyramid. So, but in broadcast, we build the story from ascending order down. Now, broadcast writers use present or future tense when appropriate in order to make the events look very current. This is why broadcast stories are written in today's language. The print uses a lot of past tense. All right. So these are illustrations for the newspaper, illustration for the broadcast. This is another example for the print, and how the broadcast media would present the same thing. So this will give you more understanding or better understanding as to what we have been talking about with regards to writing for the print and writing for the broadcast media. All right, that is where we end this class today. Do not forget to subscribe. I'm sure you've enjoyed what you have listened to, what you have watched as well in relation to the mass media. The channel is all about media education, media research, communication education generally. So communication is important and needed for everyone, whether you are in the mass communication field or you are in any other field. This channel is set to provide information generally on communication. Thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy, and do not forget as well to send in some of your questions if you have any question for this particular class. Thank you.